One day before my engagement to Trevor, I saw him passionately kissing his secretary through the window. I didn't cry or make a scene, I just threw away the ring. The first thing he said when he came in was, "Tomorrow's engagement ceremony is canceled." I know. This time, I didn't ask him why. He was stunned for a moment, then rarely explained to me, "Something happened at the company. I need to go abroad." He pinched my hand. "Emily, I'll make it up to you next time." His assistant chimed in at just the right moment. "Miss Summers, where is Mr. Hayes's luggage? I'll take it down first. I won't disturb you." She glanced at Trevor, her gaze practically sticking to him. "In the bedroom. Take your time packing. I'm going home to grab some things." Trevor didn't ask me to stay, just told me to come back early. The next day he went on his business trip and I booked a flight abroad. Trevor still thought I would wait for him unconditionally like I used to. This was the third time he told me he would make up the engagement ceremony to me next time. From college to work, I had been with Trevor for 8 years. He said he would marry me after graduation, but after graduation, he always used work as an excuse. "Emily, in this life, I will only marry you. You can't escape." The first time we were engaged, an emergency occurred at the company. A product patent was plagiarized. I had just put on my gown in the dressing room when he suddenly told me, "The engagement ceremony is postponed." The second time, he said a worker had an accident and he had to rush to the scene to handle it or it would affect the company's reputation. Work was his eternal excuse. This time, the night before the engagement, he told me again, "Engagement canceled." "Trevor, I really wanted to marry you, but it's not like I can't live without marrying you." This morning, Trevor and I agreed to try on dresses together. After putting on the dress, he wasn't on the sofa. Looking around, I found him on the balcony making a phone call. "Are you really planning to marry her?" I leaned against the wall. The voice on the phone was very clear and very piercing. Trevor rubbed his temples. "Who? Emily Summers? Of course not." The person on the other end chuckled. "You were crazy about her in school, swearing you'd marry no one else but her. Why the hesitation now? Was it all an act before?" Trevor sighed. "Who knows? Back then I thought she was beautiful, a bright and sunny girl. But," he paused, "now I'm tired of her. Even doing it once feels disgusting." My excited heartbeat stopped instantly, like a basin of ice water poured over my head in the dead of winter, freezing my blood. A heart full of love turned into a joke. The person on the other end laughed a few times, voice rising. "Then hurry up and dump her. Your assistant is young and pretty, soft and boneless. Don't tell me you haven't tasted her." Trevor paused for a few seconds, looking into the distance. "Keeping her around for amusement isn't bad either." "Don't blame me for not reminding you. This is the third time. What excuse can you find this time?" "The excuse doesn't matter. As long as I say it, she will believe it." The person joked a few more times, then someone called him, and he hung up teasingly. Trevor put away his phone and was about to leave. I ran to the bathroom. Holding onto the sink, the me in the mirror had exquisite makeup, but my eyes were decayed, like a flower crushed by hail. So everyone knew Trevor's proposal was fake. His excuses were fabricated, and his assistant was personal. Yet every time they saw me, they enthusiastically called me sister-in-law. I thought it was acceptance, but behind my back it was endless mockery. I was played like a monkey by them, watched as a spectacle. I applied for a job transfer abroad. The flight was in 3 days. The next day, Stella's social media feed was full of intimate photos of her and Trevor, kissing by the sea, watching the night view from a Ferris wheel, spending lavishly in luxury stores. While Trevor's feed was just like his excuse, full of work photos. Stella replied with a dissatisfied emoji underneath. Others only thought Mr. Hayes was working hard with his assistant. Little did they know, the young girl was dissatisfied that the man beside her wasn't willing to post her on his feed like she did him. Stella, a pure college graduate, just wanted her romance to be known. So she had added me as a friend long ago. She never blocked me from her posts. It even carried a tone of showing off. There were many comments below. Even Trevor's close buddies were teasing in the comments. Young Master Hayes is having a great time with the little sister-in-law. Being young is great. I opened the keyboard directly and typed below, talented man and beautiful woman, beautiful scenery, beautiful people. Just a reminder for Mr. Hayes. Practice moderation. The originally pouring comments instantly went silent like water extinguishing fire. After a while, Trevor left a comment. The little girl hasn't been abroad before. She got excited and took a few extra photos. Trevor called me. I didn't pick up. He messaged me. Stella is just following the customs, learning foreign etiquette. You're being excessive speaking like that. The little girl has been worried, afraid you're angry. Go delete the comment and explain to her. Otherwise, she won't be able to sleep and will be sad all night. I couldn't help but sneer. The assistant is angry. Nothing heals faster than the boss coaxing her. The beauty in Mr. Hayes' arms should be fine now. If I guessed correctly, Stella was currently lying in Trevor's arms, acting spoiled and crying. Just like the night I left, she lay in his arms, hugging his waist, crying, "Did I do something wrong to make Sister Emily unhappy?" Trevor carefully wiped away her tears and picked her up. In the clear surveillance footage, they spent a night tangled together in the marital home I prepared. That sentence seemed to anger Trevor. He called again. I answered, and he started scolding immediately. Emily Summers. Being mean only makes a woman ugly and even more disgusting. Even more? He really used a good word, letting me know once again the disgust originally in his heart. But Trevor, you make me feel even more nauseous. Stella is just a simple little girl, unlike you, older than her and deeply scheming. I asked him, "Mr. Hayes, did I say anything?" Trevor's voice stopped abruptly. Those words were ambiguous. Reminding an assistant to care for the boss's health is a very normal thing. Only those with a guilty conscience would overthink it. Only they would become exasperated and ask first, as if only by doing so could they gain the upper hand and be self-righteous. I said lightly, "Or is it because you have a guilty conscience about what you did that you reacted so strongly?" Before Trevor could speak, a delicate voice came from the other end, still carrying a sobbing tone. "I'm sorry, boss, it's all my fault. Don't fight with Sister Emily anymore. I'll delete the post right now and never post again." Trevor dropped a harsh sentence. Glib-tongued. "Since you still don't know your mistake, our engagement ceremony is postponed indefinitely. Stella, a little girl, is more sensible than you." Without waiting for me to say anything, he hung up directly. I gripped the phone tightly, my fingertips turning white from the force. Trevor's words were fearless. Every time we argued, I was the first to show weakness and submit. I felt sorry for his hard work and didn't want him to come home to trouble. In his heart, as long as he finished his so-called work schedule, came home and gave me a look, spoke to me with a cold face and gave me a glance like granting a favor, I would coax him, even cook a table of delicious food begging him to eat. Even his brothers said I couldn't leave him. Emily Summers arguing with Brother Hayes. Within 3 days, she will definitely show weakness and seek peace. A woman doing this much is really unparalleled. Honestly, at first I really envied Brother Hayes, but seeing it more, she really is like a monkey. She doesn't get angry no matter how she's played. But you can also treat her not like a human, ha ha ha. I laughed sarcastically. So everything had traces long ago. If Trevor respected me, how could his brothers dare to say such things to his face? Because he was the one who truly treated me like a monkey. Only I was wishfully immersed in the joy of loving someone. I truly lived as a joke. The flight was the day after tomorrow. I was packing in the apartment. This apartment was bought for me by my parents, a gift before they immigrated abroad. Trevor had persuaded me many times to sell the apartment. "Anyway, you're moving in with me. This apartment is empty anyway. Wifey, it pains me to see you bother thinking about cleaning it all the time." I said yes, but in the end, I couldn't bear to sell it. It was the only fortunate thing now that this apartment wasn't sold. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have a place to go after an argument. The apartment was full of my things. Only a few were gifts from Trevor. The things Trevor gave me were all from college. Although not expensive, they were significant. After graduation, Trevor never gave me a gift again. Whether it was a birthday or Valentine's Day, we never celebrated again. He was always busy with work, busy with overtime, busy so much he didn't even have time to eat. Once there is a crack between lovers, what connects below this crack is an endless black abyss. Was he really busy with these, or busy with something else? I looked through Stella's social media. For the past 2 years, on every Valentine's Day and special holiday, she would post a photo of a sweet gift and a photo of a male figure looming over her, as if protecting her. My nose soured and tears couldn't help falling, landing on the photo album he gave me. All were candid shots from when he pursued me. Different times, different places, different environments. Back then, perhaps he really loved me. After all, these photos were taken so beautifully. But now the existence of these photos became evidence of his betrayal. I brought a bucket and pulled them out one by one. Each one was a sincere memory. Lit the fire, burned them. Long after Trevor, red-eyed, gave me an identical one. I looked at it coldly and threw it away. Things had changed after all. After finishing the transfer procedures, I called a few good friends. The job transfer was to the country where my parents lived. Unless there were special circumstances, I probably wouldn't come back. Before my parents went abroad, they wanted to take me with them, but I stayed for Trevor. "Mom, I'm sorry. I don't want him to be alone here. I want to be with him." Although reluctant, Mom just sighed. "I hope you won't regret it in the future." So what if I regret it? My dear daughter, if he bullies you, just come to Dad. Dad will take care of him for you. In the restaurant, my friends stared at me strangely. Truly rare. Our Miss Emily Summers is actually treating us to dinner. Where is your CEO, Hayes? Let you out? You're not revolving around him anymore? I laughed at myself. Everyone knew I loved Trevor, loved him so much, only he was in my heart. He said he wanted to see me first thing when he got home, so I never attended gatherings. When friends invited me, I always found excuses to decline. Gradually, they also understood and never called me for activities, or just politely teased. Does CEO Hayes have a date with Miss Emily Summers again today? I solemnly announced to them, I'm going abroad. I've applied for a company transfer to a branch overseas, so this meal is specially to treat you. Their expressions suddenly turned heavy, asking carefully, what happened with you and Trevor? Holding back the sourness in my nose, suppressing tears, don't plan to revolve around him anymore. They were stunned for a moment, then laughed. Hey, perfect. Isn't it better for us sisters to be together than those men? Saying this, she held her wine glass and leaned close to smell me. Indeed, fragrant. Much more fragrant than stinky men. They hugged me. Emily will always be here. Haven't drank so freely in a long time, because Trevor didn't like it. Now, to hell with his dislike. Who do you think you are? They drank until slightly tipsy. Right, sister will find you the best. Phoenixes are hard to find, but hairless men are plenty. Saying this, she scanned the restaurant with her wine glass. Sister will find you a good man. Faye quickly locked onto a target, went over with her wine glass, and pulled the person over. How about it? Much better than Trevor, right? The other sisters at the table looked over, eyes blurry, then suddenly their eyes sparkled, exclaiming, indeed, high value in looks, and good temper, didn't get angry being pulled over by Faye. I was still somewhat sober and apologetically supported Faye. He smiled gently at me. But someone at the table seemed to know him. After a long while seeing him clearly, she shuddered, sobering up a lot, and quickly pulled her over. Wake up, Trouble. Faye, your boss. Faye was clearly drunk. My boss, isn't that better? Has looks, money, and body. Enough for our Emily. I hurriedly pressed Faye onto the stool to sit down, but she stood up like a bull, pointing at her boss. "Phone, take it out. Quick, add contact info." Faye took my phone and added the contact. Will she want to kill herself when she sobers up? The man wasn't impatient. Instead, he looked at me and took out his phone to add the contact and sent me a greeting emoji. Long time no see. A sister leaned close to me mysteriously. "Emily, maybe there's a chance. He kept turning to look at you while sitting there just now. When Faye pulled him over, he was also staring at you." I tried to open my eyes in my dizziness, looked at him, and was very clear. Don't know him. But still greeted him friendly. After the meal, we met again at the restaurant entrance. Because we drank, we couldn't drive, so we took taxis. After being blown by the wind for a while, Faye sobered up a bit. She wailed mournfully, but seeing her boss come out, she stopped immediately. "Sister sacrificed so much to find you a man. If you don't grab him, you'll really be letting me down." She took a deep breath, going all out. She dragged me and called out to her boss, smiling. "Mr. Vance, busy?" Mr. Vance stopped and looked at her. "Not busy." Faye smiled. "We all drank and can't drive. Emily isn't going our way. Can you give her a ride?" Colton Vance looked at me, black eyes holding an emotion I couldn't read. "Many thanks." Sitting in Colton's car, watching the reflection outside, I explained, "Faye drank too much. Please don't mind." "Miss Summers is really polite." Colton chuckled, suddenly stopped the car by the road and turned to look at me. I looked confused. "Emily Summers, you don't remember me?" I looked at him blankly, thinking maybe there was some business dealing before that I forgot. Laughed a few times to cover up. How could that be? Mr. Vance's great name is thunderous to the ears. How could I not remember you? Colton's face darkened further, looking at me, his gaze getting closer and closer. I could smell his scent and feel his breath. I felt a bit uncomfortable and wanted to push him away, but he grabbed my wrist. "Then who am I?" I froze. He asked again, "Then what is my thunderous great name?" Such pressure made me surrender. "Sorry, He huffed. "Colton Vance." I felt the heat from his palm transferring to my wrist. I shrank back unconsciously. He sat up straight and restarted the car. "Don't forget again." Frankly speaking, even if he told me, I didn't remember who he was. But the residual heat on my wrist seemed sealed there, unable to dissipate. Alcohol lowered my self-control. Looking from the passenger seat, that cold face features exceptionally distinct superior jawline. Memories were like crossed channels. Pain was magnified. Trevor and his assistant's lingering gasps in our marital home, those photos from abroad. The car stopped downstairs at the apartment. "Here!" I leaned close to him, breath hitting his face. "Come up and sit?" Colton grabbed my wrist, stopping my movement, leaned forward, black eyes staring at me, his trembling pupils visible. "Sit how?" The deep voice entered my ears, carrying predatory pressure. My heart trembled, a moment of clarity. Forget it. Adults didn't need to speak so clearly. I pulled my hand back, just about to say thanks for the ride. Just opened my mouth, but was blocked by him, caught off guard. His big hand pressed against the back of my head to deepen the kiss, with dominance and urgency. My consciousness gradually blurred. When I was about to lose breath, he let go of me, pressing against my lips and saying, "You provoked me first." Colton accurately found my apartment, opened the door, and couldn't wait to kiss me in the entryway. Tearing my clothes, finally pressing me onto the living room sofa. At the critical moment, he stopped. Looking at his restrained and hesitant eyes, the popping veins, I directly wrapped my arms around his neck and kissed him. Every movement of his was like treating a treasure. I stared at him. Logically, I shouldn't forget such a handsome guy, but I was too tired to say a word. The questions I wanted to ask remained unasked. My eyelids were heavy. I just wanted to sleep. The phone ringing outside wasn't answered either. Had to catch a flight tomorrow. Woke up the next day in the bedroom, body clean and refreshed. Colton was long gone from the apartment. Yesterday's scene was still vivid. The feeling on my body still existed. I lowered my head and sneered. Indeed, men are all the same. But Colton still had some decency. The living room was clean and tidy, yesterday's mess cleaned up. Clearly I initiated it, but my heart felt empty, feeling like I was the only one abandoned in this world. Tears fell uncontrollably, dripping on the floor. I took a deep breath and wiped them casually. The booked car was arriving soon. I changed clothes, took the packed luggage, and went downstairs. Just in time, the driver arrived. Goodbye forever, this city where I gave my entire youth. Sitting in the car, the scenery outside flowed backward until invisible, just like everything that had happened. Some move forward, some stay in place. Previously, I had been immersed in Trevor's care for me in college, buying me medicine in heavy rain and delivering it to the dorm, traveling thousands of miles to spend New Year's with me where I volunteered. Also obsessed with his confession to me, the proposal by the sea that day, his trembling hands, red eyes. I thought it was his most devoted confession, a vow for a lifetime. But people don't always stay in place. I took out my phone and deleted Trevor and Colton's contact information. The brief encounter was revenge and also indulgence, until half a month later, a strange domestic number called me. "Emily Summers, where are you?" Hearing Trevor's voice, I was surprised. Based on my understanding of him, he was angry but controlling his emotions. "You should have seen the things on the table. Wishing you and Miss Stella happiness. Don't call me again." "Did you take the wrong medicine?" "Emily, I'm very tired from work. I really don't have time to always coax you. Stella didn't hold your previous offense against you, but you're pushing your luck." I frowned. "CEO Hayes, you should be literate." "The engagement ring is left in the envelope. We broke up." I heard a long sigh on the other end, sounding exhausted. "Emily, I've already given you an out. Don't challenge my patience. After hanging up this call, I won't call you again." I laughed in anger. Turns out I was so humble in his eyes before. If he gave me a step, I had to be grateful and walk down it. "So you—" I hung up directly before he finished. A moment later, I received a message. "Since you want to go out and play for a couple of days, that's fine too. Watch your safety. But Emily Summers, you have to tell me where you are. Be good, don't make me worry." Disgusting. I blocked this number too. If not for using this number for a long time, relying on it for contact with friends and colleagues, I would have canceled it the day I went abroad. A few days later, a friend back home suddenly called me, saying Trevor was looking for me everywhere. He was going crazy looking, calling everyone related to me. I only found it funny. If he had just asked at my company, he would know I went abroad. But he didn't. He didn't even know where I worked. Because my job was dispensable in his eyes, not important at all. But besides those few friends, few knew I went abroad. I told her, just ignore him. But Trevor's brother called me, tone urgent. "Sister-in-law, Brother Hayes had a car accident, situation critical. He's in the hospital now, come quickly." My heart tightened subconsciously, then I said, "Go find your little sister-in-law." I've already broken up with Trevor. Everything about him has nothing to do with me. I loved Trevor and respected his brothers, treating them sincerely once. But they deceived me and watched my joke, playing me along with him. The person on the other end choked. Tone awkward. "Sis, sister-in-law, I was joking." "You used to value Brother Hayes more than life. I know you still have anger to vent. Just take this opportunity to give each other an out, and this matter will be over." He took it for granted, as if giving me such an opportunity meant I should be grateful. "Miles," I told him calmly, "he canceled the engagement completely to vent anger for Stella. I have broken up with him, and I already have a new boyfriend." "How is that possible?" He suddenly said loudly, "Who doesn't know you No." He realized he misspoke. "Emily, I didn't mean anything else." I smiled, indifferently completing his unfinished words. Everyone knows I'm Trevor's simp. So he cheats recklessly, and you tolerate it from a high horse, lying to me with him? A loud crash came from the other end, like something smashing. Come if she wants. Better never come back. It was Trevor's voice. Miles persuaded him. Brother Hayes, don't get excited. Emily is just in a temper. Which time before, no matter how big her temper, didn't she make up with you first? Tell her, if she doesn't come back tomorrow, don't ever come back. I can forgive her willfulness once, tolerate it twice, but more times is unappreciative. Brother Trevor, don't be angry. Sister Emily just wants you to care about her more. I laughed. Do you guys not understand human language? I told Miles a reality. If you have nothing to do, look at my social media. My feed had a photo of me with a colleague with blonde hair, blue eyes, and deep features. Although he looked aloof, his personality was cheerful. Emily Summers dares. After seeing the photo, Trevor's face was dark enough to drip ink. Stella tried to comfort him, but he flung her hand away violently. Then, as if realizing something, he said slowly under her astonished gaze, "It's late. You go back and rest first." The bright smiles of the two in that photo kept circling in Trevor's mind. Emily Summers, you have guts. Better not submit to me. He asked Miles to handle his discharge procedures. Brother Hayes, your injury hasn't healed. Won't die. He really had a car accident, just not as exaggerated as said. Trevor changed into his own clothes. Emily Summers, you will regret this attitude towards me. He had someone freeze my card directly. In his heart, my job was insignificant, didn't earn much money, optional, killing time. My whole person lived dependent on him. He gave me an unlimited card to swipe freely. Without me, let's see if you can still be comfortable. But if he looked carefully at the ring and letter I left him, he would know I never touched that card. It was pressed cleanly underneath. Since coming abroad, the happiest were my parents, finally reunited as a family. But in the beginning, the better they treated me, the more guilty I felt. Actually giving up the parents who raised me for more than 20 years for a man. I worked step by step. Didn't expect to meet the first acquaintance abroad, Colton. He actually became my client. In the office, he acted strictly business, as if he never knew me. Since it was like this, I also did my job well. Work negotiations were almost done. I saw them out. Mr. Vance, take care. Colton fell a few steps behind others. He smiled inexplicably, but this smile wasn't kind. Mr. Vance. He looked at me, reached out to close the door, pressing me step by step. Manager Summers wipes clean after eating and refuses to acknowledge people. He leaned close to my ear, warm breath sprinkling on my neck again and again. You called me Colton back then. You! He was clearly hinting at something back then. Past memories hit violently. Provoked to shame and anger, I reached out to hit him, but was caught by one hand, wrapped in his palm, brought to his chest. Staring at me tightly, why block me? His voice sounded somewhat fragile, aggrieved and stubborn. Why? Thinking of his silent departure that day. I said, to remove Mr. Vance's worries, lest Mr. Vance thinks I'm clinging to you, adding to your troubles. His deep gaze shattered, whispering, you are never my trouble. Emily, I waited so hard for you. How could... I was amused. Mr. Vance ran faster than a rabbit that day. Who ran? He suddenly became anxious. I went to buy you breakfast, came back to an empty house. I was stunned, didn't expect this reason. You really pissed me off. I couldn't speak for a moment. He asked me with red eyes, who is that person in your feed? He could still see my feed. I clearly deleted him. Colton saw the doubt in my heart and said, I saw it when Faye was scrolling. A boss actually peeking at a subordinate's feed? Colleague. Hearing urging outside, I quickly said, go out quickly, it's not good to be seen. What's not good? Now that it's explained clearly, shouldn't you give me a title? A blush actually dyed his face. Footsteps outside were getting closer. I was terrified. pushing him away fiercely. What title? We have no relationship. Last time was an accident, forget it. If he won't go out, I will. Colton wasn't in a hurry. He asked me to add his contact back first. His work requirements were strict, calling many times a day. But Colton replied to messages very quickly too, instantly. Thinking of before, messaging Trevor in the morning, no reply by night. Asking why, he just said busy and forgot it wasn't anything important anyway. But once connected, he only chatted a few words about work before changing the topic. Manager Summers free after work? Not free overtime. A while later. Done. I've confirmed with your boss. No overtime today. Emily, I'll pick you up after work. I didn't reply. After work, Colton waited at my company entrance. I was strange. Mr. Vance staying so long? Domestic business not busy? He opened the passenger door. I've applied for a transfer here. I was shocked, thinking of something. I transferred here, he transferred here too. Colton. I looked seriously at the person in the driver's seat, wrist holding the steering wheel, sleeves half rolled up, muscles distinct. I mustered up courage to say, "You don't have to do this. If it's for—" Colton interrupted me. "Emily, give me a chance. Give me a chance to let you re-know me." Colton took me to his home. The chef specially hired at home just finished cooking. Remember you liked Cantonese food before. This chef is famous for Cantonese cuisine, especially from Guangdong. I did like Cantonese food, but Trevor preferred strong flavors, liked Sichuan food, so I often cooked Sichuan food. To suit his taste, accompanying him without spoiling the fun, I ate until my stomach hurt. Often took a stomach pill before eating. Didn't expect someone still remembered I liked Cantonese food, but how did he know? I finally asked that question. Colton, did we know each other before? He looked heartbroken. Knew you forgot me. He pushed open a room door, went in before me and turned on the light. I was stunned. When did you take these? No, how do you have my photos? From elementary school to college, he took even more than Trevor, more detailed, more beautiful. The room was full of my photos. He suddenly pushed up his nose like a pig nose, said to me, "Stupid piggy, stupid Emily, knew you forgot me completely. You even said you'd marry me and cover me for life." I suddenly shuddered, remembering, "It's you!" My former kindergarten classmate, elementary classmate, half of middle school classmate. Colton had mild autism as a child, didn't communicate with others, just hung a camera around his neck, but helplessly got me as a desk mate, annoying with daily talk. Even my parents asked if I could stop for a bit. After class, I even dragged Colton out to play, though he just followed behind me, but was forced to laugh by my talking, opened his mouth to speak. The first sentence he said was, "Stupid piggy." I beat him up. Later I knew he said "stupid Emily" because I accidentally knocked over milk. His mom brought bags of snacks and toys to my house that day, and a green-faced Colton. My parents were baffled, thinking I caused trouble at school again, reached out to discipline me. His parents laughed ear to ear. Thanks to your daughter, my son finally spoke. My parents were stunned. Since then, he often sent Colton to my house to play. Elementary school, middle school, deliberately arranged to be in the same school as me. But in middle school, he suddenly left without saying goodbye one day. Speaking of this, I was angry. You left without a word yourself, yet have the nerve to say I forgot you. He quickly explained, "I left a letter for you the day I processed withdrawal. I told you to wait for me to marry you later." He said it was a rainbow envelope. Oh, I seemed to have some impression, threw it away as trash. Colton said his parents took him to immigrate abroad. He specially participated in a 1-year domestic exchange program, coming to my university. But you were already with him then. Just a little bit. He looked at me with red eyes. Emily, do you know how desperate I was then? I hated myself for coming late. If I could have come a bit earlier, you would be mine. So? He spoke of the darkest side of his heart. I hoped every day you'd break up, even deliberately created misunderstandings to make you break up. But you just loved him. I looked at him in shock. Didn't expect those near breakup misunderstandings between Trevor and me were caused by him. In my impression, he never appeared in college. He said defeatedly, "I really ran out of tricks. Until the exchange ended, my mom urged me back. I locked myself in the room, didn't want to talk to anyone. Mom hired a psychologist. News came from home saying you were very happy. Later I thought, as long as you're happy, I'm content watching from afar. But he treated you badly." "Emily?" He looked at me carefully. "I'm not very bad. He treated you badly, so I appeared to steal you away." Watching the careful probing in his eyes, I felt mixed emotions, holding his face. "Colton, thank you." Once he caused misunderstandings between Trevor and me, but this time Trevor betrayed our feelings himself. "Thank you for thinking of me for so many years." He said, "Give me a chance, okay?" I gently kissed his trembling lips. Colton's warm breath lingered in my ear. "Emily, this time think only of me in your heart." Extreme care, calling my name carefully. I was confused by passion, only feeling the heat on my body. He suddenly stopped. "Emily? Who am I?" I was too shy to say, biting my lip to suppress sound, shaking my head, not answering him. He suddenly used force, warm palm against my back. "Say, who am I?" Colton restrained until forehead covered in sweat, muscles tight. I was also tormented to tears by him, finally defeated, calling his name. Only then did he lower his head to kiss the tip of my nose, conquering satisfactorily. At the end, he held me in his arms, whispering, "Emily, you are mine. Never leave me in this life." Trevor's patience reached its limit. Until his birthday, I didn't appear, no sign of weakness or admitting mistakes. The things I left on the table remained there, except for a glance from him. But this time he discovered the card, he froze. He sat on the sofa smoking one cigarette after another irritably. Wine bottles in front of him were scattered. Just then, the doorbell rang. His gloomy eyes instantly lit up, rushing to open the door. "You finally know to come back? Regret it?" "Brother Trevor." Delicate voice carried grievance. Trevor froze. "Why is it you?" Stella's expression stiffened, but she quickly calmed down. "You haven't contacted me for a long time. Didn't answer my calls. I was a bit worried about you." Trevor lowered his head and smiled bitterly. "Even you know to worry about me, but her? Heartless." "Brother Trevor, what's wrong?" Stella's hand placed on his face. Green stubble made him look particularly haggard. He dodged her hand, turning into the room. "I'm fine. You go." Stella was aggrieved. "Are you waiting for Sister Emily? She won't come back." "She even transferred her job away." Trevor turned abruptly, staring at her. "What did you say?" Trevor's appearance scared her a little. Her job transferred abroad, and she already has a boyfriend. "How do you know?" he asked deeply. "Sister Emily posted on her feed. Brother Miles knows too." Trevor raised the wine bottle in his hand and smashed it out violently. With a bang, it shattered into pieces. Broken glass shards bounced back, grazing his skin, also cutting a bloody gash on Stella's neck. Stella was scared into sobbing softly, hugging him forward. "Brother Trevor, don't be like this. I'm scared." He made Stella show him the feed. After watching for a while, the hostility all over him relaxed. "No, I've seen how she looks when she loves someone. This man isn't her boyfriend at all." Miles also showed him this photo last time, but he was in a bad mood then, only thinking Emily was throwing a tantrum, waiting for him to coax, didn't look carefully. But now he laughed instead. Getting someone to act with her? Posting this photo, just waiting for me to find her personally? Fine, I'll go personally to give that out. Trevor easily found my work address. A colleague called to remind me. Said a man came to the company asking about me. Hearing the description, I knew it was Trevor, but I didn't care. Hanging up, I wanted to continue sleeping. Colton's arm passed under my neck, pulling me violently into his embrace, back pressed tightly against his body. Hoarse voice sounded against my ear. "You still care about him." I was sleepy, didn't want to talk to him, but he insisted on an answer, body pressing closer. "If he comes for you, will you go with him?" His hands weren't behaving. I lost sleepiness too, pressing his hand. "What do you think?" "I don't know." I sighed, pinching his ear. "Colton, what are we doing now?" He looked at me with burning eyes, whispering 2 words in my ear. I pushed him away in shame and anger. "So now you still think I'll go with him?" He was silent, just looking at me. The answer obvious. My patience ran out, lifting the quilt to dress and leave. Laborious relationships only tired my heart. I didn't want to waste time in a relationship anymore. If concepts didn't match, just leave. Coaxing someone, I tried. Too tired. "If you think so, the result might not be unlike what you think. I have to work, leaving now. Don't meet again." Pulling away, his hand holding me, left without looking back. Thought this relationship stopped here. Didn't expect after work Colton was still waiting there. Even afraid I'd leave, ran over seeing my figure. "Emily, here to pick you up from work." "Mr. Vance, I already made it clear. No need to waste effort pleasing me." He took my bag directly, pulling my hand towards the car. "Emily, we just didn't clarify things. Not that we don't care anymore." By the car, he looked at me. "Sorry, Emily, I hesitated this morning." He said very seriously, "I've thought it through. No matter what you choose, I won't give up. If you choose him, I'll snatch you back again." "Emily, it's not that I hesitate, just that I don't dare." "Even in my arms, I dare not believe it's you. Every time I wake up in the night, have to look at you to be reassured." After Colton went back from exchange, knowing Emily and Trevor's relationship was stable and she was happy, he tried to persuade himself to let go. To love someone is to see them happy. Even later, he specially returned to work in her city. Just watching from afar, never disturbing her. Every time seeing her smile happily at him, heart felt needle pricks. When knowing their relationship had problems, the long suppressed emotions could no longer be suppressed. Colton held my hand, looking at me firmly. "Emily, in this life, I only recognize you." I looked at him, didn't expect him to be so direct. "What are you doing?" In front of the bustling building, Trevor's voice, out of place locally, attracted passers-by's attention. Colton protected me behind him, looking at Trevor, expression cold. "Emily Summers, foreign man before, now changed to Asian man again. You really pick anyone for the act. Fine, you win. I admit defeat." Trevor walked over quickly, reaching out to pull me over, just like pulling my hand before. But this time, only he knew. Those few steps were exceptionally difficult. The extended hand was trembling. Just as he said, "Emily Summers, I know how you look when you love someone and how you look when you don't." I stepped back. Colton waved and slapped his hand away directly. "Mr. Hayes, loud noise in public isn't a sign of quality." Trevor sneered. "Mr. Vance holding someone else's fiancée isn't a moral person." "Emily, come here." Colton and Trevor had interactions in business. Both bid for a piece of land, tit for tat for many days. Finally, Colton's strength and boldness far exceeded his, winning the contract. Actually, in Colton's mind, Purely didn't want Trevor to have it easy, but if Trevor had it hard, Emily would be sad, so could only do some small tricks that hurt him a bit, but were harmless. "Trevor, was your brain caught in a door? Can't understand words? I told you, told your brothers many times, we are over." I smiled. "Congratulations. Wish to postpone engagement indefinitely achieved completely. No need to find excuses anymore." Trevor froze, face pale instantly. "Emily?" Colton sighed in relief, looking at Trevor with contempt. "Mr. Hayes, Chasing someone else's girlfriend isn't a good thing. However, I still have to thank you for letting go." Colton held my hand, showing off blatantly in front of him. Otherwise, I'd regret for life. Looking at the tightly joined hands in front, Trevor clearly cared to death inside. Emily was clearly his. They just argued. But she didn't come to coax him. It's okay. He came personally, but she still gave him attitude. "Emily Summers, chance only comes once. I can coax you, but don't push your luck." I ignored him, pulling Colton into the car. "I'm tired, let's go." Colton seemed like a changed person, mouth mostly smiling. Completely not the caution just met. And I didn't expect, meeting again like this, Trevor would really come. No indifferent greetings, no relieved letting go. Trevor watched the car go further away with red eyes. Finally recognized a fact. Emily Summers was really different this time. She was no longer the Emily who had only him in her eyes, nervous if he coughed. Before he went abroad, Miles reminded him, "Brother Hayes, Emily this time. Seems not joking, nor throwing a tantrum at you. She seems serious." Trevor downed a glass of wine. "Impossible. Emily can never jump out of my palm." Miles looked at him, wanting to speak, but stopped. "Honestly, you really went too far those times. Emily is a girl, sensitive. Not that she can't feel your changes, but she loves you, so she tolerated you. Brother Hayes, it's not she can't leave you, it's you can't leave her. Your life is full of her shadow. She bought and matched your clothes. She has a job but worries about your health, never forgetting to make soup for you daily." Miles asked him, "Did you never put her in your heart, treating her as optional, a pet to come and go at call?" Trevor dazed. He sighed. "People have hearts." Words stopped here. He patted his shoulder, left. Even so, Trevor came vowing solemnly. He came to coax her personally. All her anger should be gone. At most, care for her more in the future. But he forgot. No one waits in place. Trevor thought, Emily was so angry just because he canceled the engagement ceremony. She left disliking his insincere apology attitude. Then he agreed to her, marry her. Miles booked a venue near Emily's workplace. To propose to her. Emily wanted to marry him so much, should be satisfied this time. He had someone trick Emily to come. Pink balloons, champagne roses paving the aisle, handsome man holding a huge bouquet at the end. People seeing all cheered blessings. Marry him, marry him. Seeing Trevor, I turned to leave directly, but he stepped forward quickly, holding me. "Emily Summers, sorry." Trevor knelt in front of me. "I didn't consider your feelings before. I'll make it up this time." He looked at me with gentle eyes. "Look, how ironic." I sneered. "Trevor, so you weren't so busy you couldn't spare this time?" "Wifey, it was my fault before. I'll definitely make time to accompany you in the future." I dodged. "But now, you kneeling in front of me just makes me nauseous." Just as he was about to say something, Colton came over and punched him directly in the face. "I warned you not to come find her again." Trevor grabbed his collar with a dark face. "Mr. Vance manages too much. My fiancé's matter is not for you to intervene." Trevor let go. Trevor looked at me in shock. He hit me first. "Emily, you really protect him." I was annoyed. "I don't protect him, protect you? He's my child's dad. What are you to me? Cheating ex-boyfriend?" Both looked at me in shock. I continued looking at Trevor. "Haven't you heard the best ex should be like dead? Especially one like you." Trevor laughed. "Emily, to protect him, you even say such words. I'm the one you should care about. You care about him? Think he really cares about you? Does he know about us? Know you were with me for so many years. You washed and cooked for me. You were with me every night." Slap. I slapped his face. "Trevor, I regret knowing you." My hands were shaking with anger. Colton protected me in his arms, looking coldly at Trevor. I only regret not finding her earlier, not snatching her from you earlier." Calming down, I broke free from Colton's embrace. "Trevor, I say you are disgusting. You are really disgusting." I pulled out the recording of his phone call. Who knows? Back then I thought she was beautiful, a bright and sunny girl. But now I'm tired of her. Even doing it once feels disgusting. Trevor's hand trembled, face pale. "Emily, I can explain." I then opened the video of the marital room that night. Trevor staggered, face bloodless. "Trevor, CEO Hayes. Need to watch more?" He wanted to snatch my phone, but was blocked by Colton, who punched him again. "Scum! You make me sick. Don't come find me again. Also, I haven't touched a cent in your card. Don't act high and mighty with attitude towards me again. I'm not a canary you raised." Trevor felt like his brain was hit hard by a hammer. Didn't know when the crowd dispersed. Originally in his eyes, shedding the heat of college, the support for being together was unreserved love for each other. Trevor gave Emily a card. Unlimited card. Not only that, he gave her all identities of Mrs. Hayes, except that certificate. In his heart, he always thought he was the controller. Emily existed dependent on him. After all, I gave her such good life enjoyment, so she should coax me. Trevor thought Emily knew this clearly too. Otherwise, why would she wash and cook for him so willingly? He knew she didn't like spicy food, but accompanied him every time. Compared to the good life he could provide, what was this bit of spice? So he forgot her birthday again and again, even Valentine's Day. Look, even if I forget hers, Emily never forgets mine. Such an obedient girl is nice to keep around. But only today did he think Emily treating him well, coaxing him, caring for him, had nothing to do with that card or the material life he spoke of. Only reason was she loved him. Emily taking back her love, he realized the air around her could be so cold. Cold enough he couldn't breathe. After Colton took me away, carefully putting me in the car, then asked carefully, "Emily, is it true?" "What?" He was a bit anxious. "Child, is the child you mentioned true?" "It's mine. Nothing to do with you." Colton took my hand, taking out a ring from his pocket. Knelt on the ground. "Emily, marry me." Looking at his eager expression, I said lightly, "No." Colton became braver with each setback, finding chances to propose every time. But I was afraid. All feelings are hot at first, but time consumes everything slowly. Finally, Colton brought my parents, and his parents prepared a grand proposal ceremony. "Emily, since you won't marry me, will you marry me, take me as husband? You said before, you wanted to marry me." Mom said Colton was different from the song kid. I tell you, you are not allowed to bully him. Colton and I settled abroad. Parents are all here. Can reunite every year. When just gave birth to son, Miles called me. "Emily, Brother Hayes really knows his mistake. He fired Stella. Why don't you come back? Brother Hayes is willing to give you all assets." Colton said loudly, "Who cares about his peanuts? My wife can only spend my money." "Miles, I'm married. Don't call me about his matters anymore." At night, a strange number called from home. I was feeding my son. Just heard Colton saying childishly over there, "Looking for my wife. She's in my arms, holding my son." I'm so lucky to meet my wife. Even luckier, she was willing to give me a son. Just heard Colton talking to himself here. No sound over there. Finally, without warning, like hiding from something, hung up. I knew who it was. Don't answer calls from irrelevant people in the future. International calls waste money. Colton kissed me. Listen to wifey. At son's 100-day banquet, 2 boxes of baby stuff came from home. Colton said, "Friend's intentions." But when I didn't see, he threw them away. "Oh, forget it if can't find. Anyway, our family doesn't lack these things. Wifey, baby is hungry." Since then, never saw Trevor again. Just occasionally heard from familiar friends, Trevor drinks heavily now, very fierce, saying something like, "That should have been our child." Heard Stella was kicked out miserably. Trevor smashed her phone. She deliberately sent those things to me, but specially blocked Trevor. He mocked Stella. So restless, want to climb up? Do you deserve it? What thing? Stella was scared pale then. Voice stopped being fake cute. Hayes Corp., including enterprises cooperating with Hayes, forbidden to hire Stella. But all this has nothing to do with me anymore. Whatever happens to Trevor, he brought it on himself. Colton sat in the car, patiently waiting for me to finish talking with friends. What does wifey want to eat? Hubby cooks for you. I looked at him, handsome face, couldn't help teasing. Eat you, Give. He took my hand, covering his heart. Anytime.